Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to apologize for not being able to attend this lecture in person, but unforeseen institutional commitments forced me to be in Rome this afternoon. Nonetheless, I would like to welcome all of you to Bocconi and to the Lectio Inauguralis of the Achille e Giulia Boroli Chair in European Studies. I would like to congratulate our chairholder, Professor Gianmarco Ottaviano, full professor in the Department of Economics at Bocconi, and warmly thank the keynote speaker, Professor Karen Helen Ultveit-Moe. Rector Verona will say a few words about Professor Ottaviano and his research activity in a few moments. My brief remarks will focus on the Achille e Giulia Boroli Foundation and its long-standing relationship with Bocconi, which dates back to 2006 and has progressively evolved into the strategic partnership that we are proud to celebrate with this chair's establishment today. The Foundation promotes and supports initiatives aimed at fostering scientific, social, cultural, and moral progress with a special attention to young people. The Foundation's mission is thus perfectly consistent with the university's core activity in terms of research and education. Therefore, it was almost natural to find mutually beneficial ways of cooperation between the Achille and Giulia Boroli Foundation and Bocconi University. But more than this, there is a sort of parallel legacy between the two institutions that can be referred to as the umanesimo imprenditoriale, or entrepreneurial humanism, a fil rouge which ideally connects Ferdinando Bocconi and Achille Boroli, two sparkling examples of the Italian entrepreneurship genius. They both were entrepreneurs and innovators. They both were socially responsible, although that expression was not very much used at their times. Through their ideas and projects, they were committed to improving the society they were living in, and moreover, they both wanted to create the enabling conditions that would make society even better in the future. It wasn't about the here and now, it was a real long-term strategic vision. Ferdinando Bocconi, as is well known, achieved this through this university. Achille Boroli achieved a similar objective through the Istituto Geografico de Agostini and the revolutionary idea of the installment Partworks Encyclopedia, which at the beginning of the 60s allowed a huge number of Italian families to afford such an amazing source of knowledge by splitting up its otherwise very high initial cost on a weekly basis. I remember those days very well, and I remember the remarkable place that this encyclopedia took very early on in Italian family and social life. As Italians were encouraged by the so-called economic boom to become consumers of home appliances, Vespas and small cars, thanks to Achille Boroli, they could also buy something aimed at opening for them, and especially for their children, the doors to the world, to history, to arts, culture, and technology. We must not forget that in the early 60s, for the average Italian, bookshops were still a sort of foreign land. One was scared of entering them, of not being able to find what one was looking for, or even to ask for the right thing. Newsstands, of course, were by far more familiar places. It was a spectacular example of knowledge made accessible to a multitude of people, as well as a game-changing marketing idea. But Achille Boroli knew geography extremely well in the first place. Thus, he didn't stop at the Italian borders. In 1962, the Universo Encyclopedia was published in 11 foreign editions, and subsequently subsidiaries of the Istituto Geografico de Agostini were established in France, Spain, and the UK. And here I would like to recall another common trait between Bocconi and the Achille and Giulia Boroli Foundation, which is Europe. One of the projects that paved the way for our strategic partnership between 2015 and 2018 was called Europeans, aimed at fostering the public debate around the European Union. And also by virtue of the very encouraging outcome of that project, the Foundation decided to promote the chair in European Studies. In conclusion, I'd like to express wholeheartedly Bocconi's and my own deepest gratitude to the Foundation and to the Boroli family, and especially to the Foundation's current Vice President, Mr. Andrea Boroli, and former Vice President, Mrs. Marcella Boroli. Thank you so much for your attention.